As the weeks passed, Ruth continued working faithfully on Boaz's farm. She arrived early every morning and returned home just before sunset. No matter how tired she was, she always made sure Mama Naomi had eaten before she rested. One evening, while they were having dinner, Mama Naomi looked at Ruth with a smile. "My daughter, do you know why everyone in this village respects Boaz?" Ruth shook her head. "Not because he is rich," Mama Naomi said. "Many people have money, but few people have a good heart. Boaz has both." Ruth smiled. "I've seen that myself, Mama. He treats everyone with kindness." Mama Naomi nodded. "Exactly. And I've also noticed the way he looks at you." Ruth almost dropped the cup she was holding. "Mama!" she exclaimed, laughing shyly. "Please don't say that," Mama Naomi chuckled. "I'm old, Ruth, but I'm not blind." Ruth lowered her head, trying to hide the smile on her face. "I only respect him because he has been good to us, and that is one of the reasons he respects you," Mama Naomi replied. She became quiet for a moment before continuing. "My daughter, you've sacrificed so much for me. You could have stayed behind and started a new life, but you chose to follow me instead. Every day, I ask God to reward your loyalty." Ruth reached for Mama Naomi's hand. "I've never regretted my decision." Mama Naomi squeezed her hand gently. "I believe the time has come to trust God for your own happiness." The following day, Boaz invited all his workers to a Thanksgiving gathering after the harvest. It was his tradition to celebrate with everyone who had labored on the farm. As evening approached, the compound was beautifully decorated. There was food, music, and laughter everywhere. Families, friends, and workers gathered to celebrate a successful season. Ruth attended quietly, wearing a simple but elegant Ankara dress. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She simply came to thank God for providing for her and Mama Naomi. When Boaz arrived, his eyes immediately found Ruth among the crowd. For a brief moment, everything around him seemed to fade. She carried herself with grace, humility, and quiet confidence. Boaz walked over with a warm smile. "Ruth, I'm glad you came. Thank you for inviting me, sir. I hope you've been treated well on the farm. You've shown me more kindness than I ever expected. Mama Naomi and I pray for you every day." Boaz smiled. "Knowing that gives me more joy than you can imagine." They spent a few minutes talking about the harvest, the village, and Mama Naomi. Several people nearby noticed the conversation. One elderly woman whispered to another, "Look at the way they speak to each other." The others smiled knowingly. Sometimes, God writes a love story so quietly that people don't notice until it's complete. As the celebration came to an end, Boaz watched Ruth leave with Mama Naomi. He stood there for a long moment, deep in thought. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept remembering Ruth's kindness, her humility, and the extraordinary loyalty she had shown to Mama Naomi. For the first time in many years, Boaz admitted something to himself. He had fallen in love. Back at home, Mama Naomi noticed the peaceful smile on Ruth's face. She looked up to heaven and whispered, "Lord, thank you. I can see your hand at work. Please complete what you have started." Neither Ruth nor Boaz knew what the next few days would bring, but heaven was already arranging the final pieces of a story that had begun with tears. To be continued.